Right, guys. So we'll be going into first. We'll be seeing the classifications of drones. So this is the actual UAV family tree where even bombs are also under the UAV because it's an unmanned aerial vehicle. So just you can see the screen. I just need you to just 1 second. Yeah. Can everybody see this? Can everyone see the screen so that I can?
Yes, Bharat.
Okay. Done.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So நீங்க இந்த screen அப்படியே பாத்தீங்கன்னா you can see the UAV family tree where one side is powered, one side is ballistic and all that. For left hand side இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து bombs and missiles and all that. So நம்ம அதுக்குள்ள ரொம்ப போக வேணாம். We will see this downல பாத்தீங்கன்னா you can see remote control, unmanned vehicles, expendable and recoverable. Expendables is mostly where they are used in warfare or for bombing or missiles like that. And recoverable is normal our commercial usage drones where we'll be using remote control, and it is also by autonomous missions where drones can be used for various kind of missions. So that is what we'll be using here. So you can just have a look at this. I'll just give you a 10 second paranga. If have anything you can just see. Okay.
Bharat, please note that we are not seeing your presentation. I'm seeing your folder. I'm seeing just your folders and files, not the PPT.
Oh. I think I have to close it and I have to open it again.
I think you have to choose the application. You can choose the PPT.
Yeah, 1 second.
Under share option, you can choose the application here.
Yeah, I'll share screen. Okay. Now I'll open this. Ipa theriyada?
Yes, we are able to see your. Yes, now we are able to see your PPT. Yes.
Okay, so you can just see this family tree where I just said in the bottom part la irukradhu vandu you can just note down. The unmanned la irukra recoverable is what we are using as normal day-to-day life drones. This is what we are using. Okay, so idhula vandu ivlo categories irukku actually paatha. So that's what we'll be seeing. We'll be seeing only the commercial aspect of these drones as of now. Okay, so right, I'll go to the next thing. So there's airspace classes. So depending upon the type of drones, so basically all this classifications of drones came from US. They are the leaders in doing this. FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, has classified the airspace into these types of airspace. So in India we have two airspace classes where we can use it as of now. One below 200 feet where we can use for commercial, and 400 feet where we can use for industrial. So our commercial drones are limited to altitude of 200 feet. That is the maximum we can fly commercial drones. And industrial drones, industrial applications, we can use to a maximum of 400 feet with the proper permissions. So idhula pathina this is FAA classification of airspace where class G, class E, class A, class E. So class A, class E they will be it will cater to the military kind of drones where they are used for reconnaissance and surveillance. So these are the airspace classes. Okay, so how we classify drones? How is a drone classified? So there are 4 things where we can classify a drone depending upon the weight. So enna weight la what is the weight of the drone, what is the payload, adha vachu you can classify. What is the range and endurance? Range and endurance na how far it can go, how long it can go. So range and endurance, and the range is how long it can go. Endurance is range is how far, endurance is how long. Okay, so functional area, so what function, what is the purpose of it? Okay, so other vachu we can classify. And scope of it, so what purpose of it you are using. So you're using for hobby, or you're using for some purpose of taking a photo, or you're using for an industrial purpose. So on the mari scopes you can classify. Okay, so this is something I want you to know. Basically the actual classifications is this. So This is by DGCA. DGCA yaar அப்படின்னா they are the governing body for all aircraft inside Indian airspace. All things flying is governed by DGCA, which is the Director General of Civil Aviation. Okay, just 1 second, somebody is asking something. Functional area and scope is different. Now what is the scope is a scope can be different. Karthik, I'll answer this question. I'll just go with the flow and I'll come back to your question. Right, there is a difference. I'll tell you, I will show you the difference. Okay, so this is how drones are classified into 5 different categories, where the smallest starts from nano drones, nano, micro, small, medium, large. So these are 5 categories that the DGCA has classified drones into. So nano is the least, so where it is below 250 grams, which is basically normal day-to-day use selfie drones or toy drones, which is made of plastic, which comes under 250 grams. So micro drones is our micro and small number. Usually our commercial drones will be in the micro and small categories. So micro drones you would have seen in weddings or wherever for any selfie taking drones. And it comes in micro. Okay. So I will go into detail about what is in this chart, where there is UIN. Okay, it's a unique identification number. So this is one number where DGCA has said that other than nano drones are exempt from most of it. So you don't need a identification number, you don't need a license, you can fly till 50 feet. Nano drones are allowed to fly freely without any license or without any identification number, but the only thing that you have to do is you have to fly below 50 feet. So that is there. Nano rules kadayad. Okay, so other drones from micro to large, you have to specifically have a separate unique identification number for each of your drone. So I can own one or multiple drones for every drone. So micro and the large category la irukra every drone I have to have a unique identification number saying that like your it is equal to your car or bike license. So every bike will have a different license, every car will have a different license mari. This has a every drone will have a different identification number. Okay, so next is unmanned aircraft operator permit. So this is your license. So neenga eppadi license vaangringlo, you have a license number. Like that every drone pilot will have a aircraft operator permit, which shows that you know to fly, you are flying following the rules. It is very much needed. So when it comes to licensing, it is not at there in India. DGCA is not issuing any license as of now, but in the near future it will come. So the CAR, Civil Aviation Rules pertaining to drones, a 2.0 version is going to come out very soon. So hopefully they will address all that in that. So this too is very important. So micro to large drones fly pannona, these two are very very important. Okay, so this estimated approval time is, there is an app called Digital Sky or app irukku. So in that app you have to go and ask permission to fly. So that is the estimated approval time. So when you ask for permission, it will give you for micro category 2 days, small categories 2 to 7 days. So all that is 2 days and above you have to get permission prior to flying. Okay, so now when it comes to height, so as I said before, for nano drones you can allow to fly till 50 feet. Micro and small you can fly till 200 feet. So medium and large it will come in industrial drones or military applications, they can fly till 400. Military is different. Okay, for us, for commercial purposes, medium and large drones are there. So the maximum height level which the DGCA has allowed to fly in Indian airspace is 400 feet. So can anyone answer why it is kept as 400 feet? Anyone who is brainy enough to answer that question, I will certainly reward you. Anyone can answer the question why the maximum height limit is kept as 400 feet? Can anyone answer? Come on.
So that the drones don't get hit by the flying airplanes?
Maybe the camera resolution.
Sorry, just one by one pesenga please. Yes.
ladies first.
Yes, Balaji sir, சொல்லுங்க.
Maybe the resolution of the camera, maybe.
No, not because of that. Not because of that, sir.
Maybe not to
Okay.
conflict with the airspace like helicopters or aeroplane. Maybe it's
Yes.
something to do with the
So
rules.
Sukanya has answered that question. Of course, yeah. So drone don't get hit by planes. Okay. So yes, it doesn't come in the radar. No, there are specific drones which have ADS-B receiver which comes in the radar actually. Yes, DM Husky, correct answer. Manned aircraft usually fly above 500 feet. That is the actual correct answer. Congrats, Husky. I don't know your name. You can please go ahead and say your name. Hello. You can please go ahead and say your name, DM Husky. Okay, you can type your name if it's not a problem. That is the correct answer.
The person who gave the address.
Okay, right.
Please continue.
Yeah, so that is why the main reason why this height limit is kept is manned aircraft fly above 500 feet. That is the correct answer. Okay, so we'll go to the next thing, visual line of sight. So what is visual line of sight? Basically you can understand from that words itself. The drone has to be in your line of sight. So you should always be seeing your drone. So that is how they have allowed to fly. You can't fly beyond visual LOS. So BVLOS na irukku, beyond visual line of sight na there is a separate thing. They are allowing it for deliveries, drone deliveries. They are going to allow it, which is going to come in the near future. It is not there now. Okay, so we should always fly within the visual line of sight. The drone should always be in your eyesight. Okay, so local police permission. Okay, nano drones, I don't think we need local police permission unless it is going to be in a very crowded airspace. So nano drones inside closed airspace, inside a closed room or inside somewhere, we can fly it without a police permission. For everything else, yes, you need a NOC from the police. Okay, so flight plan and air defense clearance. ADC means air defense clearance. So which is not needed for nano and micro drones. So flight plan and ADC planning you don't need for nano and micro drones. From small to large drones, yes, you need it. You need to communicate and tell the ADC that I am flying in this airspace and I am doing it this mission. I am taking photos. Or if the government has issued a government notice that for any aerial mapping or aerial survey, you are taking any photos of a land or anything, you have to get special clearance from the government. So that is coming back to the estimated approval time. You need these time approval. Approve pannittu idu vaangathukku you need this time period is there. Okay, right. So I'll go to the next slide. Okay, so these are the based on range and altitude, what altitude it is flying. So these are based on that we are classifying the drones as low altitude, medium altitude, long endurance. So it's male drones and hail drones which are used in the military. So all this male hail drones, they will be used in the military for reconnaissance and surveillance. Okay, you can just see this chart. Okay, sorry. Right, you can just give me a thumbs up so that I can move on. So the DRDO is our Defense Research and Development Organization, where they are having a lot of drones. So for example, our Yuri film Mari, they are developing a lot of unmanned drones which are used for recon and surveillance. Right, so on the hail drones these are hail drones are specifically developed by USA. They are the leaders in it, and closely Israel is also doing it. So these are flying above 45,000 feet. So they can fly continuously for almost 1 day. So Global Hawk, Rustam, MQ-9 Reaper. So those attack drones, and recon and surveillance drones are all hail drones, high altitude drones. Okay, so I'll go to the next slide. So based on functions, okay, so these are the functions, scope and functional area no cater. So I'll this is coming to that. Sorry, can you please mute? Others, please mute. Others, please mute. Yeah, thanks. So to answer that question, where functional area and scope is differing. So you can see this is the functions of drones where it is used as an object or a one-time use panta throw pandradha illa it is repeatedly used or a commercial use on the mari. So these are the topics: target and decoy drones. So these are one-time target. So target practice mari there are drones which are used, and decoy. So where fighter jet will follow the drone and it will attack the drone for target practicing. So reconnaissance. So when you go into a battle, reconnaissance and surveillance is one of the most important thing of drones, where they can fly above this hail category drones or male category drones. They can fly at a 20,000 feet altitude where you can't see it, and you can recon the whole area. So battlefield intelligence, they do a recon. Okay. Then it comes to combat. So there are many drones which are having missiles and bombs which can be used in attack capability. Okay, logistics. So somebody asked for logistics. Logistics, it can be used for carrying cargo and delivery options. Research and development. So there are many types of research and development drones. Okay,
sorry for
less than a minute. Yeah, we can cut and we can rejoin.
Yeah. The session will be cut, and I request everyone to rejoin again. So throw same link by clicking that, and the session will be cut now.
Yes. Not to waste time, I'll continue. Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Right. So these are the functions of drones. I think I stopped in reconnaissance. So I stopped in combat and logistics. Okay. So combat drones, basically you can see for bombing missions or attack missions with missiles and bombs, they can attack. So those are used in combat. Logistics, there are, like I said before in the starting of the session, some drones are being used in some countries like New Zealand, and they are doing in US also in some parts, where they are doing this pizza deliveries or logistic deliveries. Amazon Prime is one more thing which is going to use drone for deliveries. So that is there. So research and development. So drones are being used in research and development for a lot of things. So there are research and development for thermal cameras. Drones are being attached with thermal cameras for taking thermal images, and drones are being used for lidar scanning. So you can map the whole area. You can map a mountain, or you can map a whole field with lidar. So there is a lot of things going with drones and technology which can be attached to drones. So in the research and development field, they are being used like that. So civil and commercial, as you know, we are using it for photography and videography purposes. So all commercial drones so that we use comes under this. These are the functions of drones. So we'll see the scopes of drones. Somebody wanted this very badly. So scope of drones. So these are the scopes. Hobbyist. So you and me we are hobbyist flyers, and I have made a career out of it. So if normally you're buying a drone and you're flying Abdina, you will be a hobbyist drone flyer. So under this hobbyist, there are like 3 categories where ready to fly. So the DJI drones are all ready to fly, where you can just go to the market, you can buy one from the shelf, you can just put the battery and you can fly. That is all. Okay. So bind and fly is you are assembling a custom drone. So there are many flight control boards. So you are assembling a custom drone, Abdina. Then you have to, it can be a ready-made flight control board, or you are developing a flight control board based on Arduino or something. And in that process, you have to bind that aircraft. So Ningla Bill Penter, when you are giving it, you are the owner of the drone. You are building a drone based on the flight control board. You are building Abdina. You have to bind and fly. So that requires a minimum knowledge. Almost ready to fly or do it yourself. Now the same thing. You get in the ready-made market when the laser cut kits la irukku. So when you go to the market and you buy separate kits which are ready almost. So motors, the frames, the arms, the flight control board, they were ready to fly abdindravarna. You can buy it and you can just assemble it within one hour or 2 hours. You can assemble it and fly. Those are almost ready to fly drones. So that are there. So these are under hobbies. So mid-size military and commercial drones. So these are one of the scopes. So based on scope na functionality and scope like lighter difference irukku. I'll say that. Okay, so military and commercial drones na these are where they are specifically used only for this purpose, where they can't be used for any other purpose. So adu neenga panningna it is only for that purpose. So recon or surveillance illa vanda for attacking na one drone will be only for recon, one drone will only be for surveillance, one drone will only be for attack. Adu vanda neenga vera edhukume maatha mudiyadhu. So those are based on scope. It is only for one single purpose. Okay, so that is what I have shown in this. Okay, so with this we are finishing this topic. So based on classifications la idoda this is ending. So I'll stop this screen sharing and you can ask me questions. So based on this, anybody has questions, you can, I'll give you some 3 or 5 minutes maximum. You can ask me questions. Anybody?
There is a question raised in the chat box. You can
Yes,
answer that.
Sampath.
Same kind of question is what I'm asking. DM Husky has asked a question like what kind of career options are available for hobbyist flyers?
Hobbyist nale vande it is not a career option. Hobbyist nale I'm flying for fun mari. So there is a photographer, there is a hobbyist photographer, there is a photography as career. So hobby on the hobbyist flyers there is no kind of career. So you want to just fly for fun under the hobby. So if you want to go career abdina, you have to learn, you have to get a certificate course.
Okay, so what about photography? Like if I want to take photographs using the drone, and will that become a career option rather than a hobby?
Yes, of course. So if you pathina, mostly in weddings and all these events kind of things, they are using drones for photography and videography. So it is a career option. Of course, it is a career option, but hobby na vanda I am just getting a drone, I am flying, even if it crashes, it is, I won't worry abdinradha hobby. So they do it for fun. Hobby nale they are doing in their spare time, they are investing some money and they are doing it in their spare time. But career option la you have to get certified. For example, on the I can drive a bike, but I don't have a license now. It is illegal to drive a bike or a car without the license. So once you want to go see it as a career now, you have to go learn it properly. You have to have a certificate course, and you need to give in more time, at least for 50 to 100 hours time. You have to fly it, and you have to have the knowledge of it. What are the controls? What are the systems? All knowledge order that you can go into a career. So yes, hobbyist flyer can change into a career. If you want to change it, you have to study a course and then become a career option, like what I did. Okay, is there any drone catcher? No, drone catcher is not available in India. Sorry.
So if I do a course and say if I want to use the drone to take pictures of maybe on a trek or
yes, you can do. You can do.
Do you need to get some license for that? For the
yes,
drone?
I'm coming to the topic. So they've asked what is the commercial license needed for commercial operations under current legal framework. Okay. So as of now, yes, Jeff. Yes, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Jelf. I can't hear you, Jelf. Sorry. You can please mute. Jelf, you can mute yourself. Okay, commercial license, Husky to answer the question. Husky and Sampath sir to answer your question. As of now, there is no commercial license being issued. So DGCA is the issuing authority. They have tied up with some, they have given the authority to FTO and Solta, they have given the authority. Jelf, can you please mute? Jelf, please mute yourself. Our host, please mute him. Guys. Yeah, thank you. So, as per the DGCA classification, they have. Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Bharat, we are able to hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So, as
yes,
per the
yes.
as per the DGCA regulations, they have given the licensing authority to FTO, flight training organizations. So these are under the DGCA. They are actually already they are giving license for commercial pilots. So the private pilot license, commercial pilot license, they are doing the courses. So the government has issued some of the FTOs in India to give drone RPL அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு remote pilot license கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு they have given the permissions, but it has not yet started because it is not yet clear the civil aviation rules pertaining to drones 2.0 version is coming up. So once it comes up, I think there will be some relaxations and there will be some more clarity on giving the licenses. So if you want to get a government government authorized license, you have to go to a FTO. Like for example, in Madras, in Chennai, there is Madras Flying Club. In Pondicherry or somewhere else, I think there is Orient Flight School. So in the matter, all these flight training organizations will have the authority to issue the remote pilot license. So they will be giving it. So as of now, it's not there. Okay. So what is anti-drone tech? Okay, how is it different from jammers? It is not different from jammers. It is almost the same. So the anti-drone technology, it involves jamming the frequency. So all drones are we are flying drones based on radio frequencies. So when we jam those frequency, it becomes the anti-drone tech. So we'll be jamming the frequency and we'll be stopping the drone from flying, and we can also jam it and we can land the drone, to answer Sukanya. Okay, so I'll come into that. I'll show you that. Okay, so we'll go to the next PPT. Okay. Sorry.
Arun, sir.
Yes, Balaji sir.
Will the drones be used for delivery of some packages, eatables, Uber Eats like that? Will that be used in the future?
Yes. Amazon Prime will deliver everything, whatever you want.
Actually, they have told me Uber Eats because
Uber Eats doing so. Yeah, they are doing it in India. Yes, it is. They are doing a trial and testing is ongoing in India. It will come up in the near future, mostly by next year, hopefully.
Because we are giving an order by GPS only, so they will contact us.
Yes, sir. It is possible, sir. Okay. So next I will go to the commercial drone use cases where you can see this photo. Can everybody can see this photo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you can see there are a lot of almost 20 drone commercial use cases where you might not know that drones now they have been using only for wedding. They have the mindset that I've seen only in weddings. They are used in weddings. That's all. No, these many cases are there. There are more usage of drones are there, but we'll see this first. So 20 cases we'll just
see lockdowns. Okay?
Yeah. So insurance claiming is there. So anybody has a damaged field. So a natural disaster, because of a natural disaster, if somebody has a damaged field or they are losing crops, now you can claim insurance. They are using drones to take a survey, map that area and give insurance. Okay, so wind turbine and solar farm inspections. So usually in wind turbine inspection, they used to manual labor was used to climb that wind turbine and inspect. So now drones can be used. First aid delivery. So in Africa, I can tell you an example in Africa where a drone is being used to give first aid, drop blood, give medicines from one area to another area. Drones are being used to supply that. So agriculture is one of the major fields where drones are being used. So these nowadays in all forms of for agriculture mapping, for agriculture spraying, for agriculture NDVI testing. So you can take the vegetation index, vegetative index result. So where crop is going, where crop is not going, all that you can use drones for seeing. Drones for security, yes, of course, there is a lot of options for security. Gas flare inspection. Okay, so for example, oil and gas it is a very high risk area where manual labor was used before. Now they are using drones with thermal camera to see all this gas flare and for oil and gas pipelines. So flash flood warning. So you can take a drone photo and video of dams where near rivers or coastlines where this flash flood can be you can monitor that. So you can give a warning based on that. Okay, organ transplant. So this is one of the fields which is upcoming in the in the health scenario. Organ transplant is coming by drones. So one city within a city from one hospital to another hospital, going by ambulance takes at least 15-20 minutes it will take. So when you are doing by drones, it is very easy. Wildlife conservation. Yes, we are using drones for wildlife to monitor the wildlife and take census of animals. Okay, oil spill, same, oil and gas industry. Preventing shark attacks. Okay, this is one interesting field where Australia has used drones for monitoring sharks. Okay, so shark attack, then you can save it. I will answer your question. I don't know your name. I'll answer your question later. Okay. What is the average payload of a drone? What is the average flight time? I'll answer that. Okay. Shipping emission. So you can monitor all the ships, emission control, all that. Railway safety. You can in a hilly area, railway tracks it will be within 2 hills. So you can see the track. You can monitor the track. So drones can be used on all this cargo delivery, construction site, cinematography, pipeline, reforestation, journalism. Okay, journalism is one field where drones are being used extensively now. So if you latest news sorry guys, can you please mute yourself, ma? Please mute. Guys, please mute. Yeah. So journalism is one field where drones are being used very extensively. Search and rescue. So in case of any forest fire or floods or any natural disasters, drones are being used for search and rescue. Okay, the same thing. So all these are being used. You can just have a read through. So all these are use case scenario of drones. Okay. So I'll just quickly go through I want to just finish this PPT within another 10 minutes. Okay. So, right, crowd monitoring, drone patrols. So drone patrols are what we are doing now. In the crowd monitoring and drone patrolling, live cases corona, we are using drones for monitoring and patrolling now. So I have been a part of that. I did it for one day, but okay, riot control. So in case of any Jallikattu time when they are using drones. Okay, so crop damage. So this is one field where banks are tying up with drone industries where they can take a mapping. So in case of any natural disaster, the farmers damage assessment they are using drones. Okay, so crop health, you can monitor health and you can use drone sprayers. Dam monitoring. So so they can monitor. Instead of doing a manual labor, they can use drones for dam monitoring, and the flash flood, we can monitor this. Okay, power line inspection. This is one of the very high risk areas where drones are being used now. Okay, highway aerial survey. This is for town planning. So a smart city, for example, Telangana is having a smart city program where they are using drones for monitoring all these highways. Waterways, highways, ellathikkum they are using drones to monitor. Okay, so medical emergencies, as you said, as I said before, drones can be used for organ transplant. So one of the pictures shows a drone with a defib, so they can carry a defibrillator. All that is possible. So search and rescue, yes. So you can search a person using drones. You can use thermal cameras. You can search and rescue. Drones can be used for dropping life buoys. So all that is possible. Okay, disaster management. We used it in Chennai floods, Kerala floods. The drones are being used extensively during disaster management along with NDRF. NDRF team, they are using drones a lot nowadays. Okay, military applications, of course, for recon, surveillance, attacking. So these are military applications where it is used very, very extensively. Okay, mapping and inspection. So this is one a tricky area where now in India you have to get a special permission. So if you are doing a mapping and inspection of any area, you have to get a prior approval from the DGCA, from Ministry of Home Affairs. MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, you have to get a permission, and also you have to get a permission from the local police also. That is very much needed. Okay, safety inspection. So for example, solar farms, solar farm, windmill farm, oil and gas pipeline. So all these are high risk areas where safety is of utmost importance, where instead of manual labor, we can use drones to monitor all that. Okay. So journalism is an upcoming field where drones are being used. So nowadays for Corona News, this area, we are using drones to cover that area and taking photos and videos. So all that is there. Right. So I'll stop sharing, and any questions based on this? Okay, I'll answer the questions in chat first. Siddharth Balaji, carrier options. So carrier options, there are many carrier options. First, I'll finish first, then you can ask questions. So carrier options, there are a lot of carrier options, Siddharth. So one is, normal photographer, but using drones. So aerial perspective photography in Ranga. So these are used in all kinds of events now, weddings, any music event, or any for cricket shows. So cricket matches now, they are being live telecasted from drones actually. So all that need a drone pilot. You have to be a certified drone pilot to do all that. So that is the carrier options. So there are you can do it in many other fields. So thermal mapping, thermal imagery is one of the fields where lot of people are needed. So that is lot of carrier options are there. So basically in India, starting from 15,000 to 35,000 is the salary range of a drone pilot. Okay, that is the carrier option you have in India as of now. Okay, what is the average payload of a drone? Average payload depends upon the drone. It is a ready-made drone or a custom drone. A custom drone, you can change the payload. Okay, whatever you want, a camera, or you want a flower drop, or whatever you want dropping, or cameras, different types of cameras, or you want to drop a bomb also. So payload depends upon that. So custom you can choose the payload. Ready-made drones, already payload is there. Ready-made drones, mostly it's a fixed camera, so the payload is the same. Okay, so what is the average flight time? So ready-made drones, the average flight time now, DJI drones has 30 minutes. That is the average flight time. Okay, from Riti. Can drones be affected or damaged by high altitudes? Yes, of course. Atmospheric pressure comes into play. When you are flying a drone, atmospheric pressure, wind, all that comes into play. So we actually, a certified drone pilot won't be flying when the wind is above 20 kilometers. So when we have a wind of above 20 kilometers speed, wind speed is about 20 kilometers, we don't fly the drones. So that is there. High altitude, of course, high altitude, the pressure will be less. So we don't recommend, unless it is a military application drone which is done for high altitudes. Commercial drones, we don't recommend flying on high altitudes. Though a DJI drone, it can be flown till 6,000 meters. There are industrial DJI drones which can be flown till 10,000 meters. So almost the height of Himalayas, you can fly a drone. The main thing, battery life won't be, battery varad. That is the only problem. Digital Sky, the only platform to get the license. No, Digital Sky is not the platform to get license. No, license is not being issued by Digital Sky. Digital Sky is only a platform to where you can go and upload your profile. You can create a profile for yourself, and with your drone, you can get your drone unique identification number. License will be issued only by the FTO. you can't. Digital Sky is not a platform for getting a license. No. Okay. One second, guys. Lot of questions.
Hello, please. How long the drone can fly?
Yeah, ready-made drones
can. The drone.
Yeah, custom drone, it depends upon the battery you put. Custom drone, now when I'm building a drone, if I'm putting a 1000 mAh battery, it can fly for 2 minutes. When I'm putting a 3000 mAh battery, it can fly for 5 minutes. If I put a 10,000 mAh battery, it can fly for 30 minutes. So depending in a custom drone, depending upon the battery which I put, it will fly for a longer duration. But a longer, a bigger battery, bigger drone, a bigger size, weight will also increase. So all that, calculations we have to do. When it's a custom drone, for ready-made drones.
What I ask is,
yes.
Hello. What I ask is, how far it can fly from you?
Depends upon the drone.
Maximum distance.
Yeah, endurance, range. Yeah. Okay, the commercial drone range as of now, DJI drones, without any interference, can go till 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers. Very good.
Latest
so
DJI drone.
The film named Uri, I could see that drone.
Uri drones is that is a military spec drone that is not in our use. Military drones can go longer range, sir. Military drones are not. Okay. We are not talking about military drones.
It's only commercial. Sure. Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there drones to transport humans for military purposes? Drone is something which is without human. UAV unmanned aerial vehicle. A drone is a unmanned aerial vehicle. Drone are not used to transport any humans. Please understand. Drone it is without the human human factor. Adan drone. Okay. So there are no drones to transport humans for military. Okay. Okay. Where are the specifications or requirements to become a pilot or learn about it? Okay. So you can go to Google. You can search civil aviation rules. Okay. DGCA civil aviation rules for drones. In the portal, you can see the specifications and requirements. Okay. Right. Where is UAOP provided? That's what. So once the DGCA starts issuing licenses, you can go to a certified FTO, that is flight training organization. You can get certified. You can do the course there and you can get certificate. So that is the license. UAOP is the license, operator permit license, where you can fly a drone. So it is not yet there. It is yet to come. Is that development of better battery life being done? Yes. So before we used to have lithium polymer batteries. Now it has changed to lithium ion batteries. So the latest drones, DJI has been increasing from 30 to 32 minutes. So now the latest drone has 34 minutes. Mavic Air 2, which is the latest drone, it is having 34 minutes with a smaller battery. It is around 3000 mAh or 3500 mAh battery. It is giving 34 minutes of time. So development for battery is being done. Yes. Raghunandan. So DJI A3 I have not used, bro. I am not capable of telling about DJI A3 because I have not used it. Fail safe, I can tell you. Fail safes are return to home, and when you have a remote control link loss. So when all that is there, so three options are there. One is return to home, one is land, one is hover. So one on the link loss or any loss achna, it can hover in the same place. That is one option, which is not very good because hover and one, if you're not getting the connection, it will hover till the battery is there and it will fall down. So that is the thing. Another thing is land in the same place. So that is one of the options, but you don't know where you're flying. It can be above a building, it can be above a person, it can be above anything. So landing in the same place, if you're flying in an open field where nothing else is there, you can land. That is one fail safe. Return to home. Return to home is almost the every time in every possibility. Return to home is the most safe fail safe to use, which is guaranteed that at least if you are getting the proper link, the drone will come back to the landing. It will land in the same position where it took off. So that is return to home fail safe. So even in DJI A3, those three fail safes will be there. Okay, DM Husky, which DJI drone is legal in India as of now. Mavic Mini is legal. You can go in the market, you can fly it, which is a nano drone, which is under 250 grams. That is the legal drone. Yeah, Sukanya. See, some parts in India where drone aren't allowed. So you can't fly over a CM's house or a PM house, or you can't fly above a restricted forest. So there are many areas where you can't fly. For example, you can't fly above airport. See, nobody will fly above an airport, right? So there are many places where, for example, in Delhi, you can't fly over the what Chowk, some Vidhan Chowk or something. So there are some places where you are not allowed to fly. So when you are using a commercial drone like DJI, they will itself mark it. DJI marks itself as a no-fly zone. So you get a clear market. You get a clear mark where it will show you in the red saying that these are no-fly zones. You can't fly there. Okay. Yeah, Riti, how can I start a career? Means now we can go to some drone academy. Like for example, my drone academy, I will be teaching students and I will be issuing a certificate saying that they have done this course. They know, they have the basic knowledge of flying the drone and operating the drone. So as of now, there are drone academies where you can go and get a certificate. So that is how you can start a career. Once the license has been issued, once the DGCA is starting to issue the licenses, then you can go and do another course, which is, but in the FTO, you can do another course and you can get a government authorized license. Okay. Husky, is it legal to fly Mavic Mini above 50 feet? Technically, yes, the drone can fly above 50 feet, but according to the rules, no, it is not allowed. So for mini category drones, the maximum height limit is 50 feet. So Mavic Mini, you can fly only under 50 feet. It is not legal to fly above. No, it depends upon this. That's what in the first thing I showed the classification, right? So one is the nano drones, then micro drones, then small, medium, large. Nano, micro, small, medium, large. Nano drones, the height limit is 50 feet. So micro and small drones, you can fly till 200 feet, right? But for flying 200 feet, you have to get permissions. You have to get NOC, basically. Okay? Right. So, guys, I'll go to the next topic. Right. So, if I go into this, maybe you can get a better idea. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
No.
No.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you can see DGCA regulations. Okay. Right. So, all this I have said, I'll go to the categories is the same: nano, micro, small, medium, large. So these are the categories of drones. We have seen that also. Okay. So application process. Somebody asked for the application process, right? So these are for application process for drones. So what is the requirement for any drone to be imported to India? You have to get a equipment type approval. So there is a ETA from WPC. So which is the Wireless Planning Commission. So there are a lot of departments which you have to get permission from. So WPC is one, Department of Telecommunication is one of the department. MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs is one of the department. So all these departments, you have to get permissions to import a drone. Okay. So nano category, I think nano category you can bring in. Other than nano category, you have to get all this clearances, right? So for locally purchased, okay, so we'll see pertaining to India. So the applicant shall ensure that locally purchased drones shall have ETA from WPC wing and the Department of Telecommunication operating in the D license frequency. So what is the D license frequency is our Wi-Fi. So normally our Wi-Fi works on 2.4 gigahertz or 5.8 gigahertz. So that is the D license frequency. Even drones use the same frequency to transmit the radio signals. Okay, it is using 2.4 or 5.8. So WPC comes into effect. So they have to get a clearance. So DJI drones, they get all this clearance. DJI drones now is available in the market. They get all types of clearances and we can fly them. Okay. So the next main thing, applicants can submit information as per the given format. So UIN and UIOP. So for other than nano drones, all types of drones, you need UIN and UIOP. So as of now, you can't fly a drone. What they're coming to say is, unless you have a UIN or a UIOP, you are not allowed to fly. Okay. So all applications, okay, shall be going through the Digital Sky platform. So in case you want a UIN number or a UIOP number, you have to go to Digital Sky and you have to upload. Okay. So you have to upload your drone details, you have to upload your details, and it will be asking for that. Once the government approved licensing comes, this Digital Sky platform will be issuing a UIOP where you will be providing that government authorized license number. So so as of now it's not there. So once it comes, this Digital Sky platform will be asking for that. So through the Digital Sky platform, you will be getting your UIN and UIOP number. Okay. So guys, I think there's just 1 minute. So I'll stop sharing. I will take some questions. Can go on. Can take some questions for another 1 minute. Anyone to ask any questions?
Can I ask?
Yes, Sukanya.
Okay, how much increase do you see the drone industry in the drone industry in the coming next decade? Let's just say that.
How much increase? I will say in value of throughout the world. Okay, throughout the world, the drone industry is going to be hitting around 400. Sorry, not 400, $40 billion. So the range of drone industry in the next, from 2020 to 2025, in the next 5 years, it will be around 40 to 50 billion dollars. That is the drone industry, market. So pertaining to India, it will at least be in the range of $2 to $3 billion. India is a very large, a lot of people are using drones. The drone industry, logistics, all that will come into effect. Hari, sorry, can you mute yourself? Or you're going to ask a question? Hari, hello. Yes. Any other questions? So,
Bharat, can you also share your contact details through the group or to some way so that?
Yes, sir. I will share it, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Are you able to see the screen?
Sir, there's a question in the chat box.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. How much does it cost for the courses in your institution? Okay, nice. So I'll be having like 3 courses. So one is basic introduction to course, which is a 3 days course. One is a aerial photography and cinematography course, which is for 6 days. One is an advanced piloting course, advanced drone piloting course, which is for 10 days. And I've kept it like per day, per person. The cost is around 1,000 rupees. So 3 days course will be 3,000, 6 days will be 6,000, 10 days will be 10,000. So if you compare and see it with other drone academies, this is one of the cheapest in India.
Okay, where are you from?
I am from Chennai, sir.
Okay, good. That's good.
I'll be starting my academy in Pondicherry though, not in Chennai. Okay. Is it legal to fly with just the academy certificate? Yes. As of now, it will be like it is not legal, but at least it is a document to show that you have undergone the training. So at least you can show with proof that I have undergone a training, I have done this course, and I know to fly. I am following the rules and regulations. I have been taught on the rules and regulations so that I can fly. So anyone who is flying now, they are flying illegally only because nobody is having the license. Nobody has the license. So no, India, I mean the government is not issuing the license. So it is. Sorry, I'm getting some kind of interference. Sorry. Yes, please, Balaji sir.
So your courses are not yet started in Chennai?
I am not starting in Chennai, sir. I was supposed to start in Pondicherry. It got stopped because of the lockdown.
Okay.
Are you able to see the screen?
Sir, there's a question in the chat box.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. How much does it cost for the courses in your institution? Okay, nice. So I'll be having like 3 courses. So one is basic introduction to course, which is a 3 days course. One is a aerial photography and cinematography course, which is for 6 days. One is an advanced piloting course, advanced drone piloting course, which is for 10 days. And I've kept it like per day, per person. The cost is around 1,000 rupees. So 3 days course will be 3,000, 6 days will be 6,000, 10 days will be 10,000. So if you compare and see it with other drone academies, this is one of the cheapest in India.
Okay, where are you from?
I am from Chennai, sir.
Okay, good. That's good.
I'll be starting my academy in Pondicherry though, not in Chennai. Okay. Is it legal to fly with just the academy certificate? Yes, as of now, it will be like it is not legal, but at least it is a document to show that you have undergone the training. So at least you can show with proof that I have undergone a training, I have done this course, and I know to fly. I am following the rules and regulations. I have been taught on the rules and regulations so that I can fly. So anyone who is flying now, they are flying illegally only because nobody is having the license. Nobody has the license. So no, India, I mean the government is not issuing the license. So it is. Sorry, I'm getting some kind of interference. Sorry. Yes, please, Balaji sir.
So your courses are not yet started in Chennai?
I am not starting in Chennai, sir. I was supposed to start in Pondicherry. It got stopped because of the lockdown.
Okay.
I'm not starting in Chennai. My academy will be in Pondicherry.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you are saying that there is no license provided in India, right?
Sorry? There is no?
License is not provided in India, right?
It is not there. Yeah, the government has not started giving licenses.
Then nowadays, many are using drones. How are you using without the license?
Everybody is using without the license because it is not at there. So what we're doing is we are going to a drone academy. So all these drone academies are giving certificates. So with that certificate, at least that you have the basic knowledge of flying a drone and controlling a drone. Okay. So at least that certificate will be a legal it's not a legal document, but at least it will be a supporting document so to show that you have learned it.
Okay. Without a certificate, we can fly the drone because if I learn from you without the certificate, yes, I will fly the drone.
Yeah, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly.
But without the certificate,
I will be issuing a certificate under my name. So you can show it as a proof. It is just a proof. It is not a legal document. You can show it as a proof that you know what you're doing. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what's the use of
all marriage drones are? What is marriage drones, ma? I don't understand what. All marriage drones are illegal. See, any flying in India as of now, based on the rules, it is called illegal only. Because see, some authority should be there to issue the license, no? So when there is no authority to issue a license, you can't get the license, right? But yes, it is coming in the near future. They are allowing. See, once government is not, it's not going to come and bite your neck saying that you are flying this drone. So once you have at least a proof of document saying that you have done this course, you have undergone training. So See, basically that is what they are asking now. You have to show that, you have to prove that you have undergone the training and you know what you're doing. So I am teaching all this DGCA rules and regulations, everything I am teaching. My training will be giving utmost importance to safety aspect. Okay, so without safety, we can't fly drones without the safety aspect. I'll be teaching that. My training will include all that rules and regulations, all that will be included. So at least you can show it as a proof to anyone asking. So road nobody is going to come and ask you on the road that you are flying a drone. Okay, so when a police are, you have to get the NOC. That's the basic thing. You are flying in a marriage or you are flying for an event, no? It is better always to get a NOC from the police. So what will the police ask? No? They will ask your, of course, they will ask you some identity, like a registration card or something, and they will ask you your certificate. So for example, my academy, and there are many academies like Indian Institute of Drones, Indian Academy of Drones, there are many academies like that. So you can get a certified course from them. You can go, and that's why we are there. So all these drone academies, why are they there in the first place? So everybody knows that you can't fly a drone without the license. But there is no issuing authority for the license as of now. So that is why we are there in India. Drone academies are there to teach you, to give you the training. Same thing. So same thing. There are many institutes for commercial pilot. Commercial pilot course, it's not being done by the government. Commercial pilot, there is a separate academy. Like for Orient Flight Academy is a separate academy. It's a private institution. It is not owned by the government. It is a private institution which is getting the permission from the government to teach commercial pilot courses. So adhe madri dhaan idu. We are academies, but we are not certified by the government. So no academy is if any academy is saying I'm certified by the government, it is not, because government are issuing only this authority to flight training organizations. Only they can give the drone, they can give drone courses and they can give the licenses. Other than that, all these drone academies will be private organizations which will give you the training. Okay, so I think that answers the question. Narendra, is there any age eligibility for undergoing the training? Yes, I would suggest above 16 years. So I will teach only above 16 years. I won't teach anyone below 16 years to fly. Okay, so hope I have answered all the questions. Okay, so yeah, so I will go to this. Maybe you can see from this.
Please.
Yes.
Please. What's the eligibility criteria for starting an academy?
Eligibility criteria for starting an academy?
Yeah.
Starting an academy, how do I say? It is like, it's a normal coaching institute, right? I am giving coaching on drones, that's all. So first thing, I should be trained on that. I should have experience and knowledge on that, so that I can give the training. I think I am qualified enough for that.
Okay, that's eligibility. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Same thing, for example, to drive a car, you have to have a car driving license, you have to have a LMV license, and you have to have experience of driving the car. Same thing like that. Okay, so you can see the screen. So what are the training requirements? Okay, so this is by the DGCA. These are the DGCA set training requirements, where you can see this. So the basic age is 18 years of age, and you should have passed 10th exam with English. So why they are saying this, they have to pass 10th exam with English, is at least this 10th standard students will have the basic knowledge of maths, physics and all that. Okay, so of course all this flying involves maths and physics, right? So 10th exam pass aanavanga, they have to take this training. DGCA has given this very clearly. And English, why English is needed? Because all communications, when you communicate in the drone, when you are flying a drone, when you communicate, international language is English. Okay, so everybody will communicate only in English. Okay, so and they should undergo ground and practical training. So this ground and practical training, that is what I am giving. Okay, so what I am giving through my academy, all the drone academies are giving, they are giving this ground and practical training. Okay. So now coming to that, according to DGCA, the ground training shall be obtained by FTO, DGCA approved FTO. So as of now, there are many DGCA approved FTOs throughout India, but they are not issuing any licenses. They are not taking any classes now. So that is why drone academies, we are there to teach you. So once they are coming, we will be sharing a MOU with them. We will be associating our drone academy with the FTO and we will be offering the training. That is what we are going to do. Okay, as of now, it is not there. In the near future, hopefully, once the government clears the FTOs to issue drone licenses, we'll be doing that. Okay, so under this, there are some basic there are 7 subjects. So one is radio telephony, which you need to communicate. Flight planning and ATC, which is flight path, what you are going to do, your type of mission, all that. ATC is the same thing. Air traffic clearance is when you're flying normal planes also, you communicate with the ATC. Same way, even for drones, you have to communicate with the ATC that I am flying this altitude. Okay, so you have to get prior clearance for all that. You have to study that. So regulations specific to the area. So if you're flying in a mountain area, or you're flying inside a forest, or you're flying inside a restricted zone, you're getting permission and flying inside a restricted zone. Now all these regulations specific to the area will be there. You can even fly inside an airport with the permission. So for airport mapping also is there. We can use drones for airport mapping. You have to get very clear permission and you have to be a very qualified pilot to operate inside an airport. So all that are there. Okay, so basic knowledge of flight, principles of flight, aerodynamics, all that also will come in the teaching. Airspace structure, airspace restrictions, knowledge of no flight drones. So for example, 5-kilometer radius from an airport is a no-fly zone. International airport you can't fly within 5-kilometer radius. Basic aviation meteorology. So meteorology involves all this weather. No, you can't fly when it is raining or when there is a hailstorm or when there is any kind of precipitation. It is not allowed to fly. So all this study will come under that. Okay. So it comes under all that. Okay. So do's and don'ts. We'll go to do's and don'ts of operating. Okay. So when we are operating a drone, what all you can do. Okay. We'll see that. So ensure your drone except nano. Okay. So nano drones, maximum they can fly till 50 feet. That is the legal limit. So for that, you don't need anything. So other than nano drones, you have to get a NPNT. So this NPNT, no permission, no takeoff. So this is one of the rules by DGCA where you have to follow that. You have to go to Digital Sky. You have to give you have to get the approval saying that this area I am doing this mission. So I'm going to take a normal photography, or I'm going to take videography, or I'm going to do a thermal mission. So whatever it is, you have to go to Digital Sky and you have to give your flight plan and they will give permission. So without the permission, you can't take off. That is the NPNT, which is being done through Digital Sky. Okay. So another thing is you have to get your unique identification number. Okay. So all this unique identification number, you can go through Digital Sky and you can apply for it. So which is not at there. UAN and UAOP, you can't, it is not at there. Once the rules come out, the next set of rules is 2.0, CAR 2.0 is coming out. Once it comes out, we'll be clear on this. With aspect to UAN and UAOP, we'll be clear. And also relaxations for the flight limit of drones. So they have asked that 400 feet is very less for us. We have to take a whole area mapping. Now we need at least 1000 feet clearance. So all that the drone users have been asking, drone industry has been talking a lot, and civil aviation ministry has been talking a lot on that. So once it is coming out, we'll be much clearer on that aspect. Okay. So UAN you have to obtain, UAOP you have to obtain. So before flying, before every flight, so other than nano drones, before every flight, you have to go to Digital Sky and you have to get permission. Okay. That is one of the major criteria. This UAN, UAOP, NPNT, all these are very major criteria, and you have to go to Digital Sky, and every flight so that they will maintain a record. Okay, so all your flight, whenever you fly, all this will be kept as a record. It will be like a logbook saying that this area, this date, this time he has flown this mission. Okay, so that is very important. Somebody is asking some questions, so I'll answer the questions. Okay. Right. Right. Thanks, Satish. Is there any drone in India which is NP/NT compliant? Yes, there are some custom drones. There are companies in India. There are like exactly 5 companies which are IdeaForge and RF and another thing is Skylark, and there's one more. I forgot the name of that. So there are actually 5 companies which are building custom drones which are having NP/NT compliant. So what happens is the flight control board itself will be NP/NT compliant, where you will have a SIM card and all. So inside the flight control board, you will put a SIM card and it will be tracked via GPS. So the government can track your drone and they will get the permission automatically. They will go to Digital Sky platform and they will upload their flight plan and they will get instant approval. So when it is when it is a clear green zone la fly pannana, and if they are already approving their already uploading their flight plan, they will get approval within 2 days of time. Okay, so there are some drones, there are almost like 5 or 6 drones in India which is NP/NT compliant. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll go back to this. I will finish this. This is the last thing. I will finish this and I will take more questions. Okay, so ensure your drone is in good condition. So damage, your drone should not be damaged. It should be fit for flying. So keep an eye on interference. So what they say is usually from your mobile devices, there will be some interference. So when you are flying, it is not a good option to keep your net open. So always when you fly, when you are connecting through your mobile phone, when you are opening the app through your mobile phone and connecting, it is better to keep your net off so that there won't be any interference. And make sure that you don't fly close to another flyer. So within 100, at least to maintain a distance of 100 to 200 meters from another flyer so that you don't get any radio interference. Okay. So fly only during daylight. So this is called VFR, visual flight rules on Vanga. So when you can see a drone, fly only during daylight. Okay, fly in good weather. It is one of the major rules that you don't fly during any precipitation. But there are some industrial drones which can handle rain. So the IP45, IP55 rating there are some industrial drones which are like 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs drones which are capable of flying in rain also. Okay, one of the other major thing is flying in visual line of sight. So VLOS on that, we have to always maintain the drone should be in sight. Okay, that is one of the major thing. And be aware of your airspace and no-fly zones. Don't fly near airport or heliport. So privacy of people, yes. So there are many people who have also got caught using drones and invading the privacy of other people. So which is illegal. There are many cases for that. If you are caught now, you will be jailed. Okay, so one more thing, keep the local police informed about your drone. So nano drone tavara matta drone la above nano drone category, you have to go and inform the local police that you are flying for this purpose. So marriage la, what they are doing in marriage, so to answer the question which was asked before, all those drones which are used in marriages are illegal la. According to the rules, it is illegal, but at least if you have a certificate that you know to fly and you are going to the police and you are getting a NOC from the police saying that I am flying for this event or I am flying for the marriage, then it is okay. Then it is considered legal. That's all. Okay. So another thing is maintain a logbook. So whenever you fly, maintain your log and any accident or incident, you have to intimate to the local police first and then to the DGCA. So these are the basic things, right? So we will go to don'ts. what you can't do. So drone what are the don'ts when flying a drone? So nano drone, you can't fly above 50 feet. So maximum, for example, the drone which I have, the Mavic Mini, it is already preset that the maximum flight limit is 15 meters. So if I change, it will give me a warning saying that you are flying above the flight limit of this drone. You are not allowed to fly above 15 meters. So it will give me a warning. Okay. So nano drone 50 feet, micro drone 200 feet, and other drones, other above micro, small, medium, large category, it is 400 feet. Okay. These are the don'ts. We have to maintain that flight level. You are not supposed to fly above that flight level without a special permission. Okay. There are special permissions for some missions and military applications or any detective applications or whatever. So you have to get special permission. So don't fly a drone near another aircraft. Either it is another drone or it is a manned aircraft. You are not supposed to fly a drone near that. Okay. So that is one of the thing. Fly a drone near airport or heliport. Major thing. You are not supposed to fly from a small airport. It is a 3-kilometer radius. For an international airport, Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata airport, it's a 5-kilometer radius which is not supposed to fly. So in DJI platform, when you are opening the app, it will show a red area. If you are going near an airport, it will show a red area, and your drone, if you are trying to take off, your drone won't take off. So that is a fail safe they have kept in DJI drones, which is already there. According to the GPS, it will take your position. If you are trying to fly nearby to an airport, it is within that radius, and you are flying, it will not let you to fly. Okay. So fly a drone over government facility, military base, or near any no-fly zones. Okay. Fly a drone over private property unless permission. Fly a drone in controlled airspace near airport without filing a flight plan from Airport Authority of India and Air Defense clearance. So if you are flying in a controlled, restricted airspace, you have to get that special permission from the Airport Authority of India and also the Air Defense clearance, which is by the Air Force. Air Defense clearance, the Air Force will give that clearance. So you have to get all this. So don't drop or carry any hazardous materials. So the drone which cigarette vaangirde, drone which sarak vaangirde. So all this buying things or delivery of things, illegal things via drones is not supposed to do. Okay. And don't fly a drone under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So kudichittu vandi ottaadinga nu edhukku solranga adhe maridhaan. Kudichittu drone ottaadinga. Okay. So don't fly a drone from a moving vehicle. Okay. It is never mandatory. You can never fly a drone from a moving vehicle. நீங்க என்னதான் எக்ஸ்பர்ட்டா இருந்தாலும் you will lose your orientation when you are doing it from a moving vehicle. Okay. So these are the basic do's and don'ts of flying drones. Right? Okay. So any questions based on this? Guys, any questions based on this? Hello?
Hello, Bharat. Divakar Bharat.
Yes, Diva.
Bharat, I just want to inform each and everyone who is staying here. I'm just going to other works. I have other meeting, so I'm just going to. So that before that, I just want to inform everyone that you guys, thank you guys who are joined here, and I'm just posted the group link and session registration links in chat box that you can refer. And if you want to join in group and to know further more sessions about Bharat and other sessions also, and if you want to host a session and invite your friends, you can do it by registering the link. You can get to know the events and further days, and for the hosting you can register through it. For further sessions notification, you can just click the link and join the group, then you will be fine. My name is Divakar, and I'm just posting my number here. If you have any doubts and clarifications, you can contact me at any time. I'm just leaving now. Bharat, once again the time ends. Please do ask them to either to join through group or
Yeah.
so use a WhatsApp link so that
Yeah.
people can join. Okay, Bharat, please do handle it there. I'm just signing off now.
Okay.
Can you do
Thanks, Diva. Thanks, Diva.
Thank you, Bharat.
Yeah, guys. So, any other questions based on this? Our last talks. Anyone wants to ask any questions? Please go ahead. Guys, யாரா இருக்கீங்களாப்பா?
I'm here, but I don't have any questions right now. Thank you.
Okay. DM Husky, I don't know your name. DM Husky, what is your name, ma? Please tell your name. Husky. Right, man. Okay, any idea when Digital Sky is going to open for UOP? This year is already hit, so I doubt it is going to be in this year. Hopefully next year it'll open, or maybe by the end of this year, maybe in December or January next year, hopefully. The Civil Aviation Rules 2.0 should come out. So once that come out, then they will start immediately for registering the drones. They will be starting to issue this UAN and UAOP. So it will be done. So the system is working on the background. Hopefully it comes by the year end, which will be useful for the drone industry, which will be useful for drone pilots and all, everything. Right? Okay. So I'm just sharing my screen here. So
okay.
Sure, Sampath.
Sir.
Thank you so much, Sampath.
Thank you, sir. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of things. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can see the screen, right? Hopefully you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see this.
You can note down my number and my email ID. So this is my card. Thanks, Sampath.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bharat. It was a very wonderful, very informative presentation. And
Thank
all
you,
the best
thank
to
you,
you,
thank
man.
you.
And
Thank
do
you.
good.
Please
We
leave
will
your
get in
feedback.
touch.
Yeah, in the group and even in if you're available in Facebook or anything, Amazing Human Being page, you can please leave a feedback. It will be very helpful for me.
I'll do that, Bharat. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Sampath. Thank you, Husky. Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions for me? I'm open for questions. Narendra, Praveen, Vinata. Anyone having any questions? You can ask me. Guys, anyone there? Please respond, ma.
When are you supposed to start the academy in Puducherry, sir?
After the lockdown only, sir. Lockdown has been extended till 31st. So after the lockdown, yeah. Hopefully in June, by mid-June or end of June, hopefully. Okay. Any other questions? Praveen, Vinata, Narendra, Manikandan. Sorry?
It's very informative. And
thank
that's
you,
a casual way of talking. Giving more information in a casual way. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Immediately.
Please share your valuable feedback in the group whenever possible. Okay, so I'll just the chat I'll just give. Okay, Husky. As of now, I have a Mavic Mini. I have a custom drone. I will be buying once the lockdown is over. I will be buying another drone, maybe a Mavic 2 Pro or a Phantom 4 Pro. I will be buying a Mavic 2 Pro or a Phantom 4 Pro. Yes, I will be providing training for assembling drones. Yes. I will be doing that. Thank you. So once again, I will just share my number, guys. You can take a note of it. You can take a note of it. So that's my number. So if anybody wants to contact, you can contact me in WhatsApp or you can give me a call. You can ask me any questions related to drones anytime. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying till the end. Thank you very much. So I will be ending the session now. Okay. Thank you guys.